Hello, everyone. My name is Lina. I am 27 years old, and this is the most painful experience of my life. A few years ago, I met a man named John through work. He was kind, respectful, and came from a wealthy family. He always made me feel special. He checked on me every day, supported me, and told me that I was the woman he wanted to marry. I loved him with all my heart. Because I believed in our future together, I sacrificed a lot for our relationship. Whenever we faced problems, John would tell me, "Please be patient. Let me fix a few things first, and then we'll get married." I trusted every word he said. At the same time, my mother kept reminding me that I was getting older. As the oldest child in my family, she wanted to see me married soon. Every time she mentioned marriage, I would smile and tell her, "Don't worry, Mom, it will happen soon." I truly believed John would become my husband. I also have a younger sister named Sarah. She is 21 years old and a university student. One rainy afternoon, Sarah was leaving campus after class. She couldn't find a taxi because of the heavy rain. By coincidence, John was driving nearby. He saw her standing alone in the rain, stopped his car, and kindly offered her a ride home. Sarah thanked him and accepted because she had no idea he was my boyfriend. That simple moment changed everything. As time passed, I noticed something strange. John started texting me less. His phone calls became shorter. He always seemed busy. I tried to convince myself that he was simply stressed with work. I ignored the warning signs because I loved him. Meanwhile, John and Sarah had exchanged phone numbers after that rainy day. He would message her after class, and little by little, they started spending more time together. I knew nothing about it. Then one evening, Sarah and I were relaxing at home. She left her phone on the couch while she went to the kitchen to get some snacks. Suddenly, her phone started ringing. Without thinking, I picked it up. Sarah shouted from the kitchen, "Who's calling?" I looked at the screen. My heart stopped. It was John. I couldn't believe my eyes. Before I could answer, Sarah rushed over, gently took the phone from my hands, and quickly walked outside. I sat there completely frozen. That night I cried more than I had ever cried before. I couldn't sleep. My mind was filled with questions. Was I imagining things? Or was the man I loved hiding something from me? The next day, after Sarah finished her classes, I decided to follow her. I waited near her university. A few minutes later, John's car arrived. Sarah smiled and got into the passenger seat. At that moment, my heart shattered. Without thinking, I ran toward the car and knocked on the window. John looked shocked. Sarah looked confused. As soon as the window came down, Sarah smiled and said, "Big sister, this is John." Before she could say anything else, I interrupted. "John is my boyfriend. He's the man who promised to marry me." Silence. John's face turned pale. Sarah looked at him, then back at me. With tears in her eyes, she asked him, "Is she really your girlfriend?" John couldn't answer. Sarah stepped out of the car immediately. She looked at him with disappointment and said, "What kind of man are you? How could you do this to my own sister?" John lowered his head. He had nothing to say. I walked away from the car, trying to hold back my tears. Behind me, I could hear John apologizing again and again. Sarah also came after me and hugged me tightly. She kept saying, "I'm so sorry, sister. I didn't know. If I had known, I would never have spoken to him." I hugged her back. None of this was her fault. She was innocent. A few days later, John kept trying to contact me. He apologized repeatedly and begged for another chance, but some betrayals leave wounds that apologies cannot heal. I forgave him, not because he deserved it, but because I wanted peace in my own heart. However, I also told him that I never wanted to see him again. That day, I chose to walk away. Sometimes, the people we trust the most hurt us the deepest, but I learned that losing the wrong person can be the first step toward finding the right future. Thank you for listening to my story.